Let's see question 14. It's about simplifying the exponents. So we have parentheses, then raised by -2. So inside the parentheses, 6x raised by 6, y raised by -2, z raised by -1, all raised again by -2. So 2 layers of exponents will multiply the exponents. The exponent of 6 is 1, just by default, right? So we multiply -2 with each one's exponents. So that will be 6 raised by -2. The x raised by 6 times -2, -12. Then y raised by -2 times -2, +4. Z raised by -1 times -2, +2. Right? But our answer cannot leave with x, a negative exponent. So what do? We move the 6 raised by -2 to the denominator to have 6 raised by +2. So let's write down the positive exponents. So y raised by 4, positive exponent. Z raised by square, positive exponent. And that's in the numerator. In the denominator, we have 6 raised by 6 square. 6 raised by -2, move to the denominator, 6 raised by square. So that's 36. Then x raised by -12 in the numerator, move to the denominator, becomes x raised by +12. And that's it. So that's the answer. Let's draw a line. Okay, so the answer for A is y raised by 4, z squared divided by 36, x raised by 12. Now let's see B. B inside the parentheses cannot be simplified. The numerator and denominator has no same base. So we just apply this exponent 2 to every exponent. So 4 by default is 4 raised by 1. So 1 times 2 is 4 raised by, so 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. M raised by square, m squared, then square again. So 2 times 2, 4. M raised by 4. N raised by 5, then square. 5 times 2, n raised by 10. In the denominator, we have p raised by 3, then raised by 2. So that's p raised by 6 in the denominator. So let's draw a line in between. So that's the answer for B. Okay. Numerator is 16, m raised by 4, n raised by 10. Denominator is p raised by 6. Now let's see C. C, we see inside we have numerator, we have denominator. So then maybe we'll simplify inside the parentheses first. So let's see what can we simplify. The number 2 over 4, that becomes 1 over 2. Right? Becomes 1 over 2. Then A, base A raised by A raised by -4. Then we can move. So A raised by A. So division of the same base, we subtract the exponents. So -A minus -4 becomes -A plus 4. So this simplified to be A raised by -4. Because -A minus -4 is -A plus 4 is -4. And the denominator have no more A. For B term, B raised by -3, then B squared in the denominator. So division, subtract exponents. -3 minus 2 is -5. So b raised by -5. C squared, then C5 in the denominator. So 2 minus 5, that's -3. 2 minus 5. So C raised by -3. All right. So we only have 2 in the denominator. So in the numerator, let's write it. In the numerator, we have A raised by -4. Oops. And B raised by -5. And C raised by -3 in the numerator. In the denominator, we just have 2. Then everything raised by -3. Now we apply -3 to everyone's exponent. Well, 2 exponent is 1. Equals to. So A raised by -4, -4 times -3, that becomes A raised by 12. Then B raised by -5, -5 times -3 becomes 15. C raised by -3, -3 times -3, positive 9. So that's in the numerator. In the denominator, we have 2 raised by -3. 2 raised by -3. Well, 2 raised by -3, we move to the numerator. We move to the numerator. Becomes 2 raised by +3. Well, 2 raised by +3, that's just 8. So the answer is A raised by 8 times A raised by 12, B raised by 15, and C raised by 9. So the answer for C is number 8. Then letter A raised by 12, B raised by 15, C raised by 9. Now let's see D. D, we see we have, let's combine the same base. So we see we have, so 2 squared, right? So you see this square, 2 squared is 4. So that cancels the denominator 4. Then x raised by 5 times, so 5 then raised by 2 again, so that becomes x raised by 10. X raised by 10, we have this x raised by 6. That's x raised by 10 plus 6. And also we have 5. So we have 5x raised by 16 in the numerator. In the denominator, we have x raised by -6. Well, move to the numerator, it becomes x raised by +6. X raised by +6. So combine those two, so we get a 5 times x raised by 16 plus 6, 22. So the final answer is 5x raised by 22. Let's see E. The numerator, so inside the parentheses, everyone raised by 2. So 10 raised by 2, right? A raised by 3 times 2, that becomes A raised by 6. And B raised by -6. So then we don't have this raised by 2 anymore. And this one, the denominator will have everything inside the parentheses raised by -1. So we have 4 raised by -1, A raised by -5, and B raised by +3 after we're applying raised by -1. So now let's look for the numbers. So 4 raised by -1, we move this 4 to the numerator. 10 squared is 100. So we have 100. 4 times 100, which is 400, right, for the number. Then let's see a term. We have a raised by 6. But in the denominator, we have a raised by -5. 6 minus -5 becomes 6 plus 5. That's a raised by 11. Right? And in the denominator, the numerator will have b raised by -6. So we'll move down to the denominator. Denominator will have b raised by 3. Now, b raised by -6, move down to denominator. So 6 plus 3, that's b raised by 9 in the denominator. And that's it. So the answer is, for E, is 400, a raised by 11 in the numerator, and b raised by 9 in the denominator. Okay, that's for 14. Now let's see 15. We want to write those A, B, C, 3 numbers in scientific notation. Remember, scientific notation is a number multiplied by 10 raised by a number. So it's, let's see, some number A multiply 10 raised by some B. B can be negative, B can be positive, but the A has to be in between 1 and 10. So let's see the first number. We want to pick, so out of this, we want to pick a number in between 1 and 10. So we pick 6.9, 6.9 multiplied by 10 raised by, so we have to, so if we put decimal point here, before, where is the decimal point? Before we move, the decimal point is here, right? Decimal, and we can add zeros here, right? Decimal point is here. Because we pick 6.9, so we have moved the decimal how many places? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 places, right? So the decimal moved, being moved to the left 9 digits. So that means 10 raised by 9, right? So this number 8, the number can be written as 6.9 times 10 raised by 9. And this is scientific notation. The first number is in between 1 and 10, and then multiply by 10 raised by a number. You see, this number is bigger than 1, so 10 raised by a positive exponent. B is less than 1. Right? B is a decimal. So in B, we want to pick a number 5.98. 5.98. Then multiply by 10 raised by number. Well, let's see, 10 raised by what number? So decimal point was here. So we have moved the decimal point after 5. How many digits we have moved? How many places we have moved? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's because we have moved decimal point from the left to right, that's 10 raised by -6. 10 raised by -6. So if a number is smaller than 1, you see it's 10 raised by a negative number. If a number is bigger than 1, it's 10 raised by a positive number. Well, now let's say C. C, we need to multiply 6 with 1, 2, 3 first. Well, 6 times 1, 2, 3, let's write down the number first. Equals to, so 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, carry 1, so that becomes 7. Then 3 times 6, that's 18, also carry 1, so that's 7, 3, 8, right? 3 times 6, 18, carry on 1, 2 times 6, 12, plus 1, 13, 1 times 6, 6, plus a carry on 1, So 738. Well, where do we want to put decimal point after 7 because the number needs to be in between 1 and 10. Then now, what's the number, what's the exponent of 10? So we need to figure out the exponent 10 here. So 6, so we have picked the 6, right? We have picked the 6. So 6,000 is 6 times 10 raised by 3. So out of here, we get a 10 raised by 3. And out of here, we have moved the decimal point to 1 after 1. So how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 10 raised by -7. So this number is 1.23 times 10 raised by -7. So we multiply 1.23 with 6, we get a 7.38. Then we have 10 raised by 3 times 10 raised by -7. -7 plus 3, that becomes 10 raised by -4. Okay. All right, let's see 16. 16 we have in scientific notation. So we want to write as a normal number. So 7 point, so let me leave some space. I have 7.7, right? I start with 7.7 and 10 raised by -8. That means I need to add a 0 here. 0, 0. How many zeros? I have to move the decimal point from 7 to the left for 8 places. So I need to put 8 zeros here. So that becomes 0 point. So first 0 has a point, 0 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 7 was 2. You see, the decimal was after 7. Now I move to the, because it's 10 raised by -8, I need to move to the left 8 places. So 7, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's 8. So I gotta do one more 0. That's it. That's the number. Let's see B. B is 10 raised by a positive number. Positive number will move the decimal to the right 3 places. So we get A9, A0, right? Decimal point was after 8. We have to move 3 places because it is 10 raised by 3. Last one. Last one, we need to multiply 7.8 with 6.6. When we multiply those two, I'm going to use my calculator. So 7.8 times 6.6. So we get 51.48. 51.48. Then multiply those two numbers. Then multiply 10. We have 10 raised by 4 and times 10 raised by 2. So that becomes 10. So 4 minus 2 becomes 2. That becomes 10 raised by 2. 51 is too big, right? 51 is bigger than 10. So no good. So we want to rewrite 51.48 as 5.148 multiplied by 10. Then multiply by 10 raised by 2. Right? So 51.48 can be written as 5.148 times 10. Well, 10 is 10 raised by 1. So 10 raised by 1 times 10 raised by 2, that becomes 10 raised by 3. So 5.148 multiplied by 10 raised by 3. Okay, so answer C is 5.148 times 10 raised by 3. Now let's see 17. Find the domain and range of the following relations. Okay, and then ask, does this relation represent a function? Or domain, so let's write it down. Domain is the first member in the ordered pair. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Domain range is the second member. So we have 3, 4, 2, 1. Same. Right. Just a special case. Domain and range are the same. Domain are the first members. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Range are the second members. 3, 4, 2, 1. Is this a function? Yes, because domain, the members in the domain are distinct, are different. So it is a function. Let's see B. Let's see domain. Let's write domain. Domain we have 4, 3, 4 again. Well, we don't have to read twice. Then 1. Range. Second member. 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, is this a function? No, this is not a function, right? We have 4 first member repeated, but the second member does not repeat it. The second member are different. If those second members are the same, that's okay. We can have the same ordered pairs. But 3 and 2 are different, so the B is not a function. Does not represent a function. Let's finish 18. 18, we want to evaluate at x equals 3. So we just write f of 3. That's a 3 squared. Well, 3 squared is 9. Plus 3 times 8, that's 24. Then minus 1. 9 minus 1, 8. 24 plus 8, 32. Let's see B, f of negative 3. We want to evaluate f of negative 3. Well, that's absolute value. That's the absolute value of negative 3 squared is 9. Minus 3. Well, that's absolute value of 6, which is 6. This is C. We want to evaluate at negative 1. Well, negative 1 raised by 3, still negative 1. And the negative of negative 1 become positive 1. Then plus 1. So that equals to 1. Or x equals 4b. So 4b raised by 3. 4 raised by 3 is 64. Because 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Then b raised by 3 minus 4b plus 1. And that's it. Because no like terms cannot be combined. So the 64, b raised by 3 minus 4b plus 1. That's 18. Now let's see 19. So I'm going to finish by 19, then take a break. Find the domain of each function. Well, the first one is a polynomial function. So domain is all real numbers. All real numbers. If you want to use the interval notation, that would be negative infinity up to positive infinity. Right? Use the interval notation. For B, the domain is x not equal to 0. Okay. X cannot be 0 because the denominator cannot be 0. How do we write it in interval notation? we write negative infinity up to 0, union starting from 0 up to positive infinity. Well, let's see C. C plus 5 cannot be 0. Not equal to 0. Right? Not equal to. Not equal to 0. Well, move 5 to the other side. That means C cannot be negative 5. So the domain is 6. C cannot be negative 5. Use the interval notation. We do negative infinity up to 5, negative 5, negative 5. Then union, open parentheses, negative 5, up to positive infinity. All right, C cannot be negative 5. Because you see it's negative 5 plus 5 would be 0 in the denominator, which is illegal in mathematics, right? So this is from 14 to 19. So it's too late. I need to go to sleep. I'll keep going tomorrow. Okay.